Welcome back, my fellow Americans. It's good to have you here with us today as we sit down to discuss a series of events that are shaking the very foundations of global order. If you're like me, perhaps you found it hard to sleep last night after hearing the news of Operation Roaring Lion, a military storm of unprecedented proportions now sweeping across the Middle East. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has just delivered a series of ironclad declarations, standing shoulder to shoulder with the fierce decisiveness of President Donald Trump. We need to be clear, this is no longer a series of minor border skirmishes. This is a total coordinated effort to shift the course of history once and for all. As we watch these headlines, many of us are asking the same heavy questions. Are our brave American troops in danger? Is this the necessary price we must pay to prevent a global nuclear catastrophe? And most importantly, as the flames between Israel and Iran burn hotter than ever, can we still avoid the shadow of a third world war? Today we're going beyond the soundbites to look at the cold, hard facts of the Iran-Israel war and what it means for our safety here at home. This isn't just about foreign policy, it's about the world our grandchildren will inherit. At the heart of this storm lies a name that reflects the raw power of the alliance: Operation Roaring Lion. Prime Minister Netanyahu has laid out a clear threefold mission for this coordinated strike between Israel and the US, a plan that he credits to the unwavering leadership of President Donald Trump. The first and perhaps most critical objective is the total dismantling of the Iranian nuclear threat. For years, we have watched as the regime in Tehran toyed with the safety of the world, enriching uranium behind closed doors. Netanyahu is making it clear those doors are being broken down. This isn't just about a single laboratory, it's about ensuring that a regime that calls for death to America never holds the ultimate weapon of destruction. Secondly, the coalition is moving to break the back of Iran's ballistic missile program. We aren't just talking about intercepting missiles in the sky. The operation is focused on preemptive neutralization. This means destroying their vast stockpiles and long-range launch capabilities before they can ever be moved into deep, reinforced bunkers where they would be unreachable. We are seeing a surgical precision that aims to leave the regime toothless on the global stage. But there is a human element to this story that we cannot ignore. The third pillar of this mission is the liberation of the Iranian people themselves. Netanyahu has spoken directly to the millions of men and women living under the shadow of the Ayatollahs, promising that this effort is designed to give them back their country. It is a powerful vision, a Middle East where the people of Iran can finally control their own destiny. The reports coming from the front lines are nothing short of historic. Prime Minister Netanyahu has confirmed that the coalition is not just winning. They are systematically dismantling the very machinery of the Iranian military. For those of us who have followed the tension between Israel and Iran for decades, the speed of this collapse is breathtaking. First, we must look at the Iranian air defenses. For years, Tehran boasted about their impenetrable shields. Today, those systems have been rendered useless. Netanyahu stated clearly that the skies over Iran are now open, allowing coalition forces to strike at will. But it doesn't stop in the air. In a move that surprised many military analysts, the Iranian Navy has faced devastating losses, including strategic assets as far as the Caspian Sea. This is a total loss of maritime control for the regime. The climax of this operation, however, lies in the destruction of Iran's industrial heart, specifically the factories that produce the drones and missiles that have terrorized the region. We aren't just talking about hitting launch pads, we are talking about the complete erasure of the infrastructure required to build nuclear components. This is a clear message to the Ayatollahs. There is nowhere to hide. What is perhaps most unsettling for the regime is the state of their command and control. Netanyahu described a leadership in total chaos. When the head of the snake is disoriented, the rest of the body fails. This brings us to the global stage. While many world leaders are hesitant to speak at a podium, Netanyahu revealed a startling truth. Many of them are expressing their support behind closed doors. They understand that a world without a nuclear-armed Iran is a safer world for everyone. Even as the Iran-Israel war intensifies, there is a sense of quiet relief in certain corners of Europe and the Arab world. They see the Israel and US alliance doing what was once thought impossible. As the smoke clears from the targeted strikes, we have to look at what this means for the millions of people caught in the crossfire. Prime Minister Netanyahu has been very specific about the intent of this campaign. This is not a war against the Iranian people. In fact, he described it as a mission of liberation. For over 40 years, the citizens of that nation have lived under a regime that prioritizes terror over bread. We are now seeing the early signs of what happens when that grip begins to slip. The political infrastructure in Tehran is fracturing. Reports indicate that the death cult leadership, the Ayatollahs, are facing a crisis of legitimacy like never before. When the people see that their vaunted air defenses are useless and their navy is resting at the bottom of the sea, the aura of invincibility vanishes. This is a critical turning point in the Iran-Israel war. If the Iranian people truly rise up to reclaim their destiny, as Netanyahu suggests, the entire map of the Middle East will be redrawn. But we must also consider the grave risks. As the regime feels the walls closing in, there is the ever-present danger of asymmetric retaliation. This is why the coordination between Israel and the US is so vital. They aren't just fighting a conventional battle, they are dismantling a global terror network. Politically, the world is holding its breath. We are seeing a massive shift in how the international community views the Israel and Iran standoff. For years, the policy was one of containment. That era is over. Under the leadership of President Trump and the tactical brilliance of the Israeli Defense Forces, the policy has shifted to decisive resolution. The consequences of this shift are felt in every capital, from London to Riyadh. For those of us here in the US, we hope that the roaring lion isn't just a symbol of destruction, but a herald of a new era where our grandchildren don't have to fear a nuclear shadow from the east. One of the most significant aspects of this conflict is the role of our own country, the US. There have been voices in the media claiming that Israel is dragging America into another Middle Eastern war. But Prime Minister Netanyahu has set the record straight. President Donald Trump is acting out of a clear, cold-eyed assessment of American national interests. He isn't being led, he is leading. For those of us who remember the strength of this nation, seeing such decisive action is a reminder of what it means to be a global leader. The president understands that a nuclear-armed Iran isn't just a threat to Jerusalem, it's a threat to New York, to Florida, and to every heartland city in between. This is about preventing a death cult from holding a knife to the throat of the entire Western world. By joining forces in the Iran-Israel war, the US is ensuring that international shipping lanes like the Strait of Hormuz remain open. Netanyahu's message to the world was a wake-up call. He asked us to imagine a world where these lunatics had the power to blackmail every nation on Earth with nuclear-tipped missiles. That is a future none of us want. It's why we see such strong, albeit quiet, support from other world leaders. They know that when Israel and the US stand together, they aren't just protecting their own borders. They are standing as a firewall for civilization itself. As Americans, we can take pride in the fact that our strength is being used to prevent a dark age. As we conclude our look at Operation Roaring Lion, we find ourselves at a crossroads of history. The images of fire and steel over the Middle East are a sobering reminder of the world we live in. We are witnessing a definitive chapter in the Iran-Israel war, one that will likely be studied by historians for generations to come. But for us, sitting in our living rooms across the US, it is more than history. It is a matter of the heart. We must remain vigilant. While the victories of Israel and the strategic brilliance of the US alliance under President Trump give us hope, the path to a truly stable world is rarely smooth. There will be challenges ahead, and there will be those who seek to cloud the truth with headlines designed to spread fear rather than facts. Our task is to stay informed, to stay steady, and to never lose sight of the stakes, a world free from the shadow of nuclear blackmail. Before we go, I want to hear from you. This community is built on the wisdom of those who have seen this country through many storms. Do you believe this decisive action will finally bring the stability the Middle East so desperately needs? Comment "Pray for peace" below if you are standing with our troops and hoping for a swift de-escalation that leads to true freedom. Subscribe to this channel if you believe that the truth matters more than the mainstream headlines, and if you want to stay updated on the real story of Israel and the future of our national security. Thank you for spending this time with me today. May God bless our troops, may He protect the innocent, and may He continue to watch over the US. We'll see you in the next report.